Good evening. In previous session, we have completed command line arguments. So in today's session, we are going to see about control flow statements, or we can say it as a control statements. So first, let us see what is meant by a control statements. So before going to that, I will write a small program, a small Python program where it contains only two statements. For example, we are having print hi, for example, and second statement is print hello. So here, if you observe these two statements, what will be the output of this program? It will be hi and it will be hello. So these two statements will be printed as output. Okay. Now, next one is, for example, I have written some 100 statements in the same way. Now, what will be the output of this program? All these statements, print statements, will be executed sequentially. That means it is following some flow of execution. That means from here, first step, first statement, second statement, and so on up to 100 statements it is going to execute. But now I don't want to execute some statements in between. Let us consider 1 2 3 4 5 9 10 10 statements are there, for example. So some are mandatory statements are there. For example, these three are mandatory to execute, these three are compulsory to execute. So I will write these three statements, but here 4 and 5 or 6 and 7 should be execute. That means what? Any one of these only should be execute. That for example, if some statements or if some condition is satisfied, then only I have to execute 4 and 5. For example, if this condition is not satisfied, then I have to execute 6 and 7. Then what happens? If there is no concept of flow control statements, generally what happens? It is going to start the execution from first statement to last statement is what? 10th statement. It will execute in sequence. Okay. But now what I want to control this flow. That means what? I am going to use some statements which is going to control the flow. So we are calling these statements as flow control statements or control flow statements, or directly we can say control statements. Now what I am doing, I am going to control the flow. So if you see here, this example here 10 statements are there. So if I'm not going to use any control statements, that means what? I am not going to control the statements. So default flow is going to be executed. That means what? From first it will execute first statement, second statement, and so on. It will execute 10 statements. 10th statement. Now the concept is I want to control the flow. Then I have to use some control flow statements or control statements so that I can control the flow here. Okay. So now we will go to our control flow statements, and what are the different type of control flow statements? Let us see now. So first thing is what are the different type of control statements we are going to have? So first we have to understand what is the need of flow control. That means if I want to control the flow of execution of the program, then I have to use the concept of control flow statements or flow control statements. Let us see, these flow control statements can be categorized into three basically. So in that, first one is conditional statements, or we can also call these conditional statements as selection statements. The people who knows any other languages like C, C++, and Java, they know these concepts, but here representation will be different. The concept is same, but representation will be different. So decision making, otherwise we can say what? Decision making statements. So you can call any of the name, but generally they will call conditional or selection statements. Next, second type is iterative statements, or we can say it as a repetition statements, or also sometimes we'll call it as a loops or looping statements, for example. So looping statements. And last one we are having is transfer statements, or we can consider that statements as branching statements. Okay, so we will see in detail about each and every statements. Right. So first one is what? conditional statement or selection statement or decision making statements. Generally we'll call it as a conditional statements. Sometimes we'll call it as selection statements also. So why we are calling it as a conditional, why we are calling it as a selection, or why we are calling it as a decision making, we will see it. In the same way, second type is what? Iterative, or we can call it as a repetition, or we can call it as a looping statements. And last one is transfer or branching statements. So these are the three different type of control statements we are having in our Python. So in each and every statements, once again, there are many other statements are there. I will show you now. Okay. So first I am going to show you about conditional statements, or we can say it as a selection statements. Okay. So first one is what? Conditional statements. Now, what is meant by conditional statements? In the name it says what? Some condition. That means these type of statements are going to follow some conditions. Okay. So among them, first one is if statement. So I will explain each and every one now itself. So first one is what? If. So if is a statement. So what is the use of this if? So first I will discuss with a practical example. Later we will see with our Python program. Okay. So if, let us consider. So these are conditional statements. First I will say what is meant by conditional statement means if we want to execute any statements or group of statements, if some condition is satisfied, then we have to go for if statement. So once again I'm going to repeat it. If we want to execute any statement or any group of statements, if only the condition, if some condition is going to be satisfied, then we will go for if statement. This is the basic control flow statements generally that is used in our programming languages. That is what? If. So I will let a small program here. Let us take two values, a equal to 10, b equal to 20. So now I want to execute one statement. For example, here I am going to write. So I will show you the representation also, don't worry. Now here I want to print what? A is greater, for example. A is greater. Okay. Else case, otherwise, I don't want to take else case here. Okay. Later I will discuss about else case. Now see this program. Here what happens? What is the flow from here? First statement, a equal to 10 will be the value 10 is going to be initialized to a. Next 20 is going to be initialized to b. So second statement is what? B equal to 20. Next here it is going to execute this statement. That is what? If a greater than b. That means generally what should be the flow? First executed this first statement, second statement, third statement. Generally if there is no concept of flow control, next it has to be executed in as a fourth statement. But what happens here? These two statements are executed in a normal flow because here there is no control statements are used here. But here if is one of the control statements which comes under our conditional statements. That is, if a greater than b, that means what? If this condition is going to satisfy, then only I have to execute this particular statement. Here I have written one statement. If you have group of statements to be executed, then we can write group of statements. I will show you with one example, but for a sample example I'm going to take only one statement. That is, when this statement is going to be executed, this statement is going to execute only if this condition is satisfied. If this condition is not going to be satisfied, then what happens means, then the statement will not be executed. That means what? I am controlling the flow here. But generally if there is no concept of this statement, what should be executed here? First statement, second statement, third statement, and fourth statement. But here what I am doing, I am writing this condition so that if this condition is true, then only this statement is going to be executed. So this is what this is called as what? If statement, which can be also called as conditional statements, because here we are going to, the statement is going to be based on what? One condition. Okay, so this statement is called as what? Conditional statement. So here if this condition is true only, then this statement will be executed. If this is false, I have not written anything to be executed. Okay, I will take some more examples to make you understand. Just I am taking only if, simple if. That means what? If one condition is, for example, our practical example I will give. our for example, college timing is 9:30 a.m. So if you are coming after 9:30 to the college or school, they will not allow to enter into your classroom or to the college, for example. Then what is the condition I have to write? If, for example, if some student, I am writing some condition, if student is not coming before 9:30 to the college, 9:30 a.m. to the college, then what I am going to do? Then I will not allow. Then I will not allow. This is the condition. Now tell me, when this statement will be executed? If the student is not coming to the college before 9:30, he will not be allowed. Okay. Otherwise, I can also change the statement. If student is coming before 9:30, I will allow. Your wish. But here I am going to write only one condition. Alternative is not there. Otherwise, if I want to say clearly, if student is coming before 9:30, I am executing what? I will allow. If you are not going to allow, what is the alternative? Else case. Else, I will not allow. I will not allow. That means what? If we'll have some condition, if there are only two options, for example, yes or no. If you are having two options, if condition is satisfied, then you will go to yes. If condition is false, then you are going for else case. For example, else case. This is what? If case. Okay. So now I will show you the examples for each and everything once again. Now, so this is what? This is the example for simple if. That means what? If there is only one condition, if this condition is satisfied, then only that statement or group of statements will be executed. So now I will write a small program for that. So before going to write a small program, general representation of if I am going to show you. That is what syntax. We can call it as a syntax. So if here what? Some expression where we are going to some condition here. Here you have to observe this one carefully, because in previous languages, sorry, we should not say previous language, in C, C++ and Java, we are not having the concept of this one. So here what should I write? If you want to, if you are having multiple statements, I can write statement 1, statement 2, and so on. If you want to write n number of statements also, you can write. But when these statements will be executed, these statements will be executed only if this expression is true. If this expression is not true, all these statements will not be executed. Now, I will show you an example of C, C++ and Java program. If, for example, there some expression, here there will be expression, some expression will be there. There, if there is only single statement, directly I can write here. Otherwise, if group of statements is there, open bracket and closed bracket should be there. Okay, statement 1, statement 2, and so on. If you want to represent a group of statements under a if block, then compulsory open bracket and closed bracket should be there in your C, C++ and Java. If there is only single statement, then we can write directly without having these flower brackets. Otherwise, if you want to keep flower brackets for single statement also, we can place in C, C++ and Java. But the case of if in Python is different. To make group of statements under if, that means what? This indicates what? All these statements belongs to this if it is going to represent. But now what is here? How to represent all these statements under this if? That means here we have to keep some indentation. Already we have seen this indentation. That means what? Just here, if I want to make these all statements under this if, just if you are going to place this colon and if you are pressing enter, it will not go to first line. It will take some 4 spaces. After that, the statement is going to be entered. I will show you all these cases. So compulsory, if I, let us consider 2 statements are there, I want to write under if. So compulsory, what happens? These 2 statements should have 4 spaces, or we can say it as a indentation. It should follow indentation. So here also 4 statements, 4 spaces should be there. If, let us consider, only these 2 statements are under this if, I want to write a normal statement, then again where it has to be followed, from here it has to be followed. Okay, right. Now, till now whatever I have discussed some points regarding to if statement, I will show you in practical. Correct. So let a small program for that. That is I'm going to take two numbers. Some num1 equal to 20, num2 equal to 30, for example. Now just I'm going to explain you about a if condition. So if some expression a greater than b, for example, then here when I am going to keep colon, otherwise if I'm not going to place colon, then if I press enter, it is going to what? First location. If I am placing some colon here, that means what? That indicates whatever these statements that I am going to write after this line will come under if statement. That is important to understand. Okay. After keeping colon, see, if I am not going to place colon, what happens? It goes to first location. But if I place colon here, that indicates whatever the statements that are going to be written from now, it is going to be considered under if. Now see, if I press enter, what happens? Let us see. See, now what happens? It comes to no, it not sorry, it is after some four spaces. Okay, because it indicates that colon is saying what? Next, whatever the statements you are going to write will come under if only. For example, I will write some. First, I will write only one statement. That is what? If a greater than b, what I have to say? For example, a is greater. You can write any statements. For example, I am going to write this one. So just I am going to save this program. Is 20 greater than 30? No. If I execute this program, what will be the answer? The answer will be nothing. Oh, sorry, name A is not defined. Sorry. Here I have defined what? num1 and num2. num1 and num2. Okay, right. So see, now what happens? Nothing is going to be printed here. Reason is what? If this condition is not satisfied, what happens? Output is not going to be printed. Now I will change the values. Here I will place 40. Now see what happens here. Num1 is greater than num2. That means what? This condition is true. Then only this statement will be executed. Okay. Now see, you will get an output that is A is greater. Okay. Right. Sir, if multiple statements are there, how it has to be written? For example, I want to write something. Again, I want to write what is that? I can say second line. For example, to show you, this is second line. Next, if I press enter, what happens? It is not going to first location. It is going to be considered under this if only, so that it is going to take indentation. So see, here I will write, for example, third line. Okay, right. Now three lines are there. Now condition is true, for example. Otherwise, first I will make it as what? False. Then what happens? All these statements will not be printed because the condition is what? Condition is false. So no statements are printed here. Now I will make this condition as true. Now the condition is true. If this condition is true, then what are the statements under this if? All these three statements will come under this if. Okay, that means these three statements has to be executed. Now what happened? A is greater, second line and third line. Now your doubt is, you may have some doubt that, sir, it is okay if condition is going to satisfy, then it is going to execute the statements of if. If it is not satisfied, it is not going to execute. Now the case is, sir, if I want to write the next statement which is not going to belong to if statement, then see, if I press enter, again it is asking me to write some statement that is belonging to if only. But now I don't want to write. Then I will keep backspace. Then it go to first location now. Now whatever the statement here I am writing, observe clearly. These three lines follows indentation, or we can say four spaces. So under which statement I have written these three indentation lines? Under if. That means these three statement belongs to if statement. Okay, that means what? If this condition is true, then only these three statements will be executed. Now this is not a indented line, this is an unindented line. Okay, so here I will write what? Not belong to, for example, not belong to if statement. Now tell me one thing, that here which statements are compulsory that will execute? Only print state, this statement is compulsory. These three statements are not compulsory. The reason is, here some condition is there. If this condition is satisfied, then only these statements will be executed. For example, first I will make this statement as false. Then what happens? This statement will be executed. Reason is what? This statement is not written any under some conditions I have not written. So the statement will be executed compulsory. So as this condition is false, these three statements will not be printed. This statement will be printed. See here. So what happens? Only not belonging to if statement is printed. Now I want to print all these statements. That means I want to make the condition true. Now what happens? These three statements will be printed and this statement also will be printed. Okay. So this is the case of if. Okay. Now I want to go to one more case. Sir, here you are considering every time only one condition. Generally what happens? If, let us consider, if tomorrow, if today morning or tomorrow morning, if sun rises, then what happens? We will not have any rainfall. If else case, what happens? If sun is not rising or if sun is not coming, then else case is what? It will be rain. Okay, it is going to rain. Two statements are there. For example, if sun is going to, if sun comes, there is no rain. If sun is not going to come, then there will be a rainfall. For example, these are the conditions. Then what I have to say? If condition should be there, if that condition is not true, I have to go to some other case. So now I am going to discuss. This is somewhat important to understand. Reason is only this particular statement is going to act as differently when compared to all other statements. That is, see what happens when if statements will be executed. If condition is true, then only the statements under if will be executed. Okay, now I am going to take one statement that is called as else. Only this statement will be executed when some condition is false. You have to observe this one. When some condition is false, then only okay, then else will be executed. Then else will be executed. Okay. Now generally what happens? If we see if statement, if the condition is true only, it will execute. But if you see any statement, for statement in a for, if you are having some condition, if that is true only, the for loop is going to be executed. In the same way while also. But here else is different from all these things. Generally any expression evaluated true leads to execution of its body statements, but this else body statement is executed only when the expression is evaluates to false. Okay, very important point. Generally what happens? If is there, here if it is true only, these statements will be executed. Okay, now it is not compulsory to have else for if, but if you are having more conditions, two conditions for example, then I have to go for what? If and else. Okay, now see here what happens. If this condition is true, then only these statements will be executed. Otherwise what I have to do? Then go to else case. When I am coming to else case, if this condition is false, then automatically I am going for where? Else case. Else is compulsory for a if? It is not compulsory. Okay, right. Now just I will give you a small what can I say, syntax of this if. Okay, just it is nothing but if some expression will be there. If this expression is true, then these statements will be executed. Else, let us consider if this is not true, then what has to do? What has to be done? If nothing has to be done, leave with if. That means only write if. But if you want to do some other thing, then go to else case and write down these some statements here. Now what happens? If some condition is, if this expression is true, it will execute these statements when it is true. If this condition, if this expression is evaluates to false, then it will go to else case. Okay, this is about if and else. Just I will write a small program. I will modify the program which we have seen before. That is what here num1 and num2 is there. Generally what should be happened here? If num1 is not true, for example, if num1 is not true, then which one is true here? Here what I have written, if num1 is greater, then automatically I can say what? Num1 is greater here. If num1 is not greater, then what I have to say? Num2 is greater. Then I have to write that one in a else case. Num2 is greater. If you want to print value also, we can print it, no problem. So see here, what happens is this condition is true now. For example, num1 is greater than num2. Yes, this condition is true. So that it is going to if loop. That means what? If condition, num1 is greater. Now I will make this condition as false. Now what happens here? Num1 value is what? Num1 value is 20 and num2 value is what? 30. That means what? Is 20 is greater than 30? No. That means this expression evaluates to false. That means will I enter into this if condition or if loop? Sorry, if block. That is, if the condition is false, I will not get into this print statement. Then what happens? Then it will go to else case. Then what is going to be printed? Print num2 is greater. Now it is going to print what? Num2 is greater. For example, what about the statements are? The statement will be printed if the case is true or if the case is not true. This is not belonging to any control statement. So it will be executed if the condition is true or not true. Here these if is control statement, conditional statement, and else is also a conditional statement. So if I execute this program, what will be the output? 20 greater than 30. It is false. So it will print what? Num2 is greater. And it is print what? It is going to print what? Not belong to if statement. See, answer is what? Num2 is greater and not belong to if statement. If I change that, what happens? Automatically we know that if condition is true, then it will print what? Num1 is greater, and it will print no, not belong to if statement. Completed. Okay, this is about else. Now a third one which gives us a flexibility, that is nothing but in our other languages we will call it as else if. In C, C++ and Java we will call it as what? Else if. Else if. But in Python we are going to call it as elif. ELIF. One more statement we are going to see now, that is what? Elif. So see, I am going to use only if one condition is there. If only one condition is there, I will go to if. If two conditions are there, then I will go to if else. Okay, that means what? If and else will be used. If I am having multiple conditions, then I have to go for elif. If multiple okay, three or more I will write here, because one, if only two, I will go to if and else. If we are having three or more, then I will go to what? Three or more conditions, then I will go to elif. So I will give you a small example for this one. So generally what happens here, this elif statement is used to chain multiple if statements. That means what? I will show you with an example now. I will take it now. Okay, see here, I want to print the month in an year. Okay, for example, I have taken some year equal to okay, I'll write a small program for this one. Right here I will write okay. Now see, I want to take 1 year. For example, I will ask you 1 year, that is otherwise I will ask user. So what I will ask, int, or directly I will ask here, so that input of what I will ask, enter the month, or I will say enter the month number. For example, month number. So the number has to be converted into what? Integer. Okay, so I will write here int. Right, so now what happens? I will enter some 10 or 9. If I enter 10, what has to be printed as output? It has to print October, for example. So first condition is what? If year equal to 1, then what it has? This is the first condition. If year equal to 1, sorry, year I should not write year, just I will write month. Sorry, month I will write. Okay, this one is what? If month equal to 1, then what it has to print? It has to print January. It has to print what? January. Jan, otherwise Jan, for example. So in the same way, how many times I have tried, how many cases are there here? If how many months are there? 12 months are there. So if month 1, January, month 2, Feb, month 3 March, and so on. Month 11, what can I say? I can say month 11 as November. Else case, what happens? Else case, it is nothing but December. If some people enter the input as 13, then what it has to print? It is not going to print anything. So I will show when I have to write else case, and see here I will take what? Elif. Elif also, here also we should write some condition. Month 2, if month 2, what I have to print? I have to print some Feb. I'll write fastly. Okay, just I will copy and paste here. Feb, for example. So remaining all cases, first case will be if condition. If that condition is not going to satisfy, then we will go to next else elif. If that condition is not satisfied, then it will go to what? Next elif, and so on. Okay, for example, I will take only up to, okay, okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, up to 12 I will take. Just I will change the names here. So if month is 4, for example, I am going to write all these things. Okay, next month is 5, for example. Then what can I print? May. Month equal to 6. So here you have to observe what means, what is going to be happen if I am going to use elif. If I am going to use elif, then it is going to, we can have what? Multiple conditions here. So if you are going for if, there you can have how many conditions? Only one. If that condition is true, those statements are going to be printed. If this condition is not going to be true, those conditions are not going to be, so that statements are not going to be printed. If we are having two conditions, for example, then I have to go to if else. I have to use two statements. One is if, another one is else. But I am having multiple statements, then better go for what? Elif. Okay, so for if statement we are having some condition, for else we will not have any condition. In the same way, for if we are going to have the statement, for elif also we are going to have some statement, but else we are not going to have any statement. Now last one is what? Else elif 12 is what? December, for example. Now the case is, sir, if I am going to enter from 1 to 12, no problem. For example, unfortunately, I have typed something called as 13. Will 13 will have any month, for example? No. So that I will write some else statement. That means what? If any of the condition is not going to be true, then automatically it will come to what? Else case. All the conditions I have written. Else, what I will write? Please enter correct month. What I will write? Please enter correct month. That's enough. Now if I execute this program, what happens automatically? If you give the numbers from 1 to 12, no problem, it will give you the corresponding month. If you are not going to enter the correct number, then what happens? It will say you please enter correct month. So just I will execute this program. So it is going to ask me to enter some, see, enter the month number. So I'm going to enter some 4. So what it is going to print? April. Same program I will execute once again, and I'm going to write some 6. What is going to print? June. Now what happens here means, first it will check the condition. First value is going to be taken in what? Month. First I entered 4, for example. In month, what is there? 4 is there. From here onwards I am going to check the condition. If month equal to, month value is what? 4. First condition is what? If month equal to 1, is month equal to 1? No. So that it will not go to this if statement, then it will go to next statement. That is what? Elif. So is it satisfied? No. Is it satisfied? No. Is it satisfied? Yes. So that it has printed this one. If at least one of these statements, only among all these if, elifs and else, only one statement will be executed. Okay, all these statements will not be executed here, because if means what? If this is true, it will execute this one. If it is not true, else if, elif, it will come to this statement. Otherwise it will go to this one. If this condition is true, only it will execute the statements, and so on. For example, all these conditions are false. For example, all these conditions are false. Then generally I have to tell to the user what? please enter a correct month. That has to be written. Some default cases has to be written inside a else case. Okay, sir, I don't want to use this else case. That means what? I don't want to, the person who is using my application is know 1 to 12 means he knows the number of months we are having. So that what I will enter here, just I will remove this one. Just what happens here, I will enter December, because the people who is entering the number of month, he knows how many months are there. Now what happens if I am going to enter generally what is the numbers I have to enter? 1 to 12. If I enter 1, it will go to this one, 2, 3 and so on up to 11, it will come to this one. If I am not going to enter 1 to 11, if I enter any other number, it will go to December only. So is it correct? Generally it is not correct. See here, if I write 11, it will print November. If I write 5, May. Okay, I think I have written 5 here. 1 minute, I have not executed the program. Right, now see, if I enter 5, what happens? It will print May. Okay, but if I enter 12, it is printing what? December, no problem. But if I enter any other number also, for example 25, it will go to what? December only. So compulsory we should not write December under else. Better write December in elif. Okay, so that elif month equal 12 I have written. In else case, generally what has to be written? If the conditions are not true, then we have to tell. If all these conditions are not true, you have to go to where? That thing has to be written in else case generally. Okay, so this is about elif. Okay, right, this is about conditional statements. So because what, why we are calling this as a conditional statements? When I can execute this statement, print if this condition is true, that means what? Compulsory, I'm going to talk about what? Condition. So if is called as what? Conditional statement. Elif also is what? It is also a conditional statement, because condition is there. Then why we are calling else as a condition? Reason is, if condition is false, then only we are coming to this else case. That means what? It is also related to your condition only. So if, elif and else are called as conditional statements. Okay, in Python. Then sir, why we are calling this as a, what we can say, selection statement? For example, in this one, if I take group of conditions are there here, I'm going to select only one. I'm not selecting all the cases. I will select only one. Let us consider I have entered 4, month equal to 4. Then only this one will be printed. All the statements will not be printed. Any one of the statement or any one of the if or else will be executed. That means selectively it is going to execute based on the condition. So we can call these statements as what? Selection statements also. What is meant by decision making? So here, based on the decision, whatever the value we are going to give for month, based on that it is going to take a decision. So we can also call these statements as what? Decision making statements. But generally we will call these statements as conditional statements or selection statements. Okay, so this is about conditional statements or selection statements in Python. Right, now I'm going to I'm going to second type of control statements. Those are called as iterative statements. Those are called as iterative, or we can consider them as a repetition. Okay, or we can call it as a looping. Okay, right, now here in these three terms, easy to understand, the term is repetition. Okay, that means what? Repeatedly. If I want to do anything repeatedly, then I have to go to a statements called as repetition statements. Okay, in condition statements, what we are going to do, if that condition is going to be true, it will execute the statements under it. It will execute only once. You have to understand that thing. In conditional statements, what happens? If condition is true, it will execute only once. If condition is false, that statement will not be executed. Okay, it will go to else or elif. But here the case is, if I want to print a same thing repeatedly more than once, then I have to go for what? Repetition statements or iterative statements, or we can also call it as looping statements. In that, first one is for. Already I have taken a small example for this, for also in previous sessions. Okay, Now very important to understand, because here generally in Python we will use the term iterable and iterate. Okay, so first I will write a state what is meant by for here. Generally what is the use of this for when it is going to be used means it is used to iterate over any, this is official definition, iterable objects. Okay, right. What is meant by iterable object? Just I will give small information like a string, a list, group of values where we are going to have, those are called as what? Iterable. Okay, right. For is used to iterate over an iterable objects. Okay, like string, list, set, and so on. Many other things are there, but just for example, string, list, set I have taken here. So now I will take an example. So first thing we have to understand is what? All the repetition statements are used for what? If you want to execute any statements or group of statements multiple times, then I have to go for this iterative statements or repetition statements. So I will explain now. So how it will be there? For small example, I'm going to consider for item something. You can write any values here. For item in iterable, this is the syntax I'm going to write. What are the statements that are present under this if are going to be executed? Listen carefully. Right, now see here, iterable means what? Which can be iterated are called as iterable. That means what? For example, I'm going to take 10, 20, 30 in some L equal to this one. Now I want to print each and every item in my list individually. Then what I have to take? I have to go for loop. There, from where I want to take? In L. I want to take from L. In L, I want to print what? Each and everything. So just write down some X or any value you can write here. That the meaning of this one is every value in L will be stored in X. Okay, that means what? This is iterable. It can be iterated. Okay, first value of this iterate value is what? 10. Next one is what? 20. Next one is 30. That means in first loop, for example, I'm going to print the values. Print X I am going to write here. So what happens means for X in L, is X is in present in L? No. What is the meaning of this one means for every value in L, I am not going to consider this one. For every value in L, that value will be stored in this X. First it is going to store what? 10. So first value is going to be stored in X and I am going to print the text. So 10 is going to be printed. Next what happens? Again it will check whether there are any other items that are present in L or not. Yes, it is present. So what happens now? 20 is going to be passed into this one and that is going to be printed here. Again the loop is going to be repeated here. Now again it will check whether there is any value is there in L or not. Is there any value? Yes, 30 is there. So 30 is going to be stored here. I am going to print here. Now what happens? Again it will go, it will not go here. Reason is what? Here nothing is there to iterate this one. That means I don't want to do any other thing because here values are not there. So what happens? The for loop is going to be ended. Okay, how many times it is going to iterate? Based on the values that are present in this iterable object. Okay, so if there are only 2 items, this will be continued only up to 2 items, 3 items 3 times, 4 items 4 times, and so on. Okay, this is about for. So just you have to understand this statement. It is used to iterate over any iterable objects. That means what? For every item of the iterable, it is going to be stored in item and it is going to be used. If you want to use, you can use. Sir, is it compulsory to take X in this one? No, we can also have many other ways to do it. For example, here you are writing some list items. If you want to take some range items, I can go into that. A range of for example 10. Then what happens here? It will take up to range 10. So already we know what is meant by range. So it is going to consider up to that values. Okay, right. Now I will go for some examples for this for loop. A small examples, I will go for small examples. Okay, now Okay, I'm going to a small program. Just I'll consider some fruits, for example. Here I'm going to consider in a list. For example, some fruits I'm going to take orange. Next one, for example, apple. Next one, grapes, for example. Okay, these are the list of items I am going to have. I want to print these list of items individually. Where are the fruits we are having? Where are these list of fruits are present inside a fruits variable? So in fruits, I want to take, I want to store it in somewhere which has to be used. Okay, right. This is compulsory column. So print, just write down fruit, sorry, X. Then what happens here? Just first time it will print orange, second time it will print apple, third time it will print grapes. Print grapes. Fourth time, is there anything to print? No. Then automatically it is going to be ended. That means what? This for loop is based on this iterable object. That means how many elements that are present in this list or iterable object, those many times this for loop is going to be executed. So now what will be the how many times the loop is going to be executed? 3 times it is going to execute it, because only 3 items are present in a iterable object, or we can consider it as a list in this example. Okay, next I will take one more iterable object. That means what? Where we are having group of items, that is some string I am going to take, a small string I am going to take. I want to make each and every individual character I want to print. So where the individual characters are present in S, what I want to print? Characters in that. Just write down print of X. Now what happens? It is going to print S, first S, second I, third V, and fourth A. Reason is what? Here only we are having 4 individual characters we are having. Okay, right. Now I want to take a group of numbers and I want to perform what I can say addition by using a for loop. Okay, right. Now see, already I have shown you in previous session, but now I am going to consider list of items. Okay, just I am taking list. Just I want to write eval. Eval is going to do what? Eval is going to evaluate the type of the data which we are going to give. Okay, eval of, I want to input the list. For example, input of enter list of items I am going to write here. Enter list of items, or sorry, list of numbers, for example. Now why I'm going to write this program is I want to find the group of, sorry, I want to find the sum of the numbers that are present inside a list. Okay, so already in yesterday's examples I have taken sum equal to 0. For some you can take anything, sorry, basically we will take a base value as what? 0. So now for every value in list I have to do it as a sum. So for X in list, what I am going to, I want to perform a sum. What I have to do? Sum equal to, or we are having some okay, sum equal to, otherwise what can I write? Plus equal to X. Okay, then after that what I have to do? It will iterate until how many times? How many values I am going to give for list? It will iterate. Later it will perform sum in for loop, and it is going, I want to print finally the sum. Just I will come out of the loop and I will print what? Sum of elements, sum of elements in the list. Okay, sum of elements in the list are, or is, right, is what? Where it is stored? In X, sorry, in sum. So that I will print in a sum. Right, now I will take a values. First I will take 2 values, next I will show you for 3 values, and so on. Better to go to this command prompt. Okay, okay, now see here. Oh, sorry, when I have to go to this one, if I want to execute individual statements, I have to come to this one, but I want to execute a program. Okay, so Python space, my program name is first.py. Now if I execute this one, it will ask me to enter a list of items. For example, I'm going to enter for example 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40, 4 values I have taken. So what it has done? It has done the sum of elements in the list is 100. Okay, no problem. Again, I'm going to execute. I will take more values, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, for example. So if I press enter, automatically it is going to give some of those elements. Okay, so this is about a for loop, right? Now I will take one more small example for this one. That is, I want to print reverse of the, I want to print a numbers in reverse order. For example, I want to print from 10 to 1. I want to print. That means for using a for loop, I am going to tell you these many examples so that you will get a clarity. What I want to do, I want to print the elements in reverse order. Okay, from 10 to 1, for example, I am going to take. So, sorry, for compulsory x, some x or any name you can take here. X in range of, from where I want to take the range from 10, from up to where I want to print 0. Reverse order I'm printing. Here I will let -1. -1 is always gives you what? Reverse. Okay, right. If I print what? Just I will print x. Now what happens? This is a statement where it is going to give me, or where it is going to print 10 to up to last. That is what? 1. Okay, n minus 1, up to n minus 1. What is the end value here? End value is what? 0. 0 minus 1 is what? Sorry, we can consider it as what? Up to 0 is there, up to it will print 1. Okay, before number. Okay, now see what is going to print 10 to 1. Why it is going to print in new lines? Reason is, already we know the reason, because every time print is going to be executed. If we are not going to write that slash n, by default we are having what? Slash n, and is what? Slash n, so that every time it is going to print a new line. Okay, sir, I don't want to print in a new line. Just take end equal to some space, for example, end equal to space. Then what happens? I have modified, I have changed the end value as space. That means what? Slash n will not be printed every time. It will take a default value of end as what? Sorry, the value of end as what? Space. So that now what happens? See, all the values will be printed side by side with space. Okay, right. That means here you have to observe what? Repeat. You have to understand how it is going to iterate, or we can call this as a looping loops. Okay, right. Now just I want to show you what this is. Just now I have taken what for loop examples I am taking. I want to take a for loop where I want to print odd numbers and even numbers separately, or just I want to print a even numbers, for example. From where to where I want to print the odd numbers I want to print from 0 to 10. Okay, for example, 0 to 10. So x in 0 to 10 means what? They are in order, so I can go for what? Range of 10. It will take from where to where? 0 to 9 it will take. Okay, right. I want to print what? Only odd numbers. What is meant by odd numbers? If the number is not going to divisible by 2, then we can consider it as a what? Odd number. This is a basic mathematical knowledge. With a mathematical knowledge we can understand that. So if, okay, read this one, no problem. If x modulo 2, already you know that if I am going to perform modulus, you are going to get the remainder. If I divide the number with 2, the remainder should not be 0. Then we can say it as a what? Then I can say it as a odd number. So if you are unable to understand what is an odd number also, just I will give a small example for that. So what I have to do, then it has to print that value x. So I want to print side by side, then I will take some end equal to some space, right? Saved. So see, what is the odd numbers we are having? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So what is meant by odd number? If I am going to perform any number, that means what? For example, I have taken 10. Is it a even number or odd number? Even number. How you can say? If I am going to divide by 2, how many times? 5 times. So remainder is what? 0. For all even numbers, for example, we can say what? 32, for example. So 2, how many times? 16 times, for example. Directly I'm going to write. We are going to get what? 0 here. In the same, if I take 9, what happens? 2 4s are 8. Remainder is what? Non-zero. Okay, not equal to 0. If it is even number, it will be 0. If it is not equal number, sorry, if it is not even number, it is going to give you odd. So if it is not equal to 0, I am going to write it as a odd number. I am going to print that value. So this is about for loop. I think you have understood this one. Okay, so I want to write a small program where it gives you just a small example. Generally we will use some what we can say, our phone is there or our Gmail is there. When your Gmail is going to log into your inbox, when the username and password is correct. Now I want to write a small program for that. Okay, just I will take one username and password, and if it is true only, that means what, if it is satisfied only, if it is matched only, we have to enter into our account, for example. Okay, small program I will write. Okay, okay, better write that one with a while statement. Okay, let us discuss while statement in next session. Okay, so by using while I will show that one. Okay, in next session I am going to discuss about while and remaining other transfer statements also. Thank you.